Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Doctor's Journey. As I told in the earlier video, today I am gonna cover IELTS exams in detail. To simplify my explanation, I am gonna cover the entire topic by making 5 questions and answering them in details. Let's begin. As soon as one learns that he or she has to take IELTS test, what happens? Bunch of questions pops into his head, such as what is IELTS? Are there any different types of IELTS? If so, what is the difference between them? Which one to choose? What is the structure of the test? And how to prepare for it? How to approach the test? If you have any one of these questions, please continue watching because all these questions are answered in this video. Let's see what is IELTS first. The full form of IELTS is International English Language Testing System. It is an international standard test to assess one's proficiency, especially of a non-native English speaker who wish to work or study in a country where English is the language of communication. Okay, are there any other English tests to do that? Yes, there are other tests like TOEFL, TOEIC, PTE, OPI, or OET. However, IELTS is the only valid test accepted by the country UK. So, as it is widely accepted all over the world where English language is the common language, I am covering IELTS in detail today. Let's see what will be there in IELTS. In IELTS, your English is assessed in 4 sections like listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Let's see the structure of the test so that our approach and preparation is focused. If we understand how the test works, our preparation is gonna be focused so that the desired band score is not difficult to get. Any authority or body which conducts IELTS test is gonna let you choose the date for your test. However, while choosing a test date, keep in mind that you choose a test date for listening, reading, writing section of the test, not the speaking test. Test date and venue for speaking test will be intimated to you through your mail ID or a contact number which is provided to the authority. This test date can fall any day from 7 days prior to the date of your selection to the 7 days later. What I mean to say is your LRW test is gonna happen on the day of your selection of date, and your speaking test date can fall any day either 7 days prior or later. I hope you are getting it. Just to plan your stay accordingly. Let's see what happens on LRW test date. You start your test with listening section. You will be provided with an individual headphones, question booklet and an answer sheet. This section is going to last for 40 minutes. An audio of around 30 minutes long will be played through your headphones. While listening to the audio, you have to answer 40 questions given in the question booklet. At the end of the audio, you will be given 10 minutes transfer time during which you have to transfer your answers from question sheet to the answer sheet. What are the type of questions that come in listening question booklet are multiple choice, matching, labeling, plan, map or diagram, or completion of a table, note, form or flowchart or summary, sentence completion type of questions, short answer questions. Once you finish your listening section, you'll be given question booklet for reading section which has 3 passages and 40 questions related to them. I mean, combining these 3 passages, there will be 40 questions. You will be given 60 minutes time for this section. You can divide your time for 3 passages as 20 20 20 or 18 20 22 according to the difficult level of these passages. Your passages gonna be in paragraphs from A to Z or 1 to 15 or 14, whatever paragraph they are given. What are the type of questions that appear on question booklet for reading is multiple choice type of questions, identifying information, that is whether the information in the passage is true, false or not given, identifying right of view or claim, that is yes, no or not given type of questions, matching heading or sentence or information, sentence completion type of questions, summary, note, table, or flowchart completion type of questions, diagram label completion type of questions, or short answer questions. At the end of your reading test, there won't be any extra time, so you have to transfer your answers during the question or reading section itself. There won't be any extra time for this section. Once you finish your reading section, you are gonna allow to take writing task. In writing section, there will be two tasks and two questions. Task 1, for which you have to write minimum of 150 words, and task 2, for which you have to write minimum of 250 words. You can divide your time as 20 and 40 minutes because of the minimum number of words. Let's see what happens. Once you're done with writing, that is the end of your test on that test day. Let's see what happens on speaking exam. Let's assume your speaking is after your LRW test. Let's say is on 17th October 2019. This test is gonna last only for around 11 to 14 minutes. There are three parts in the speaking test. First one is introduction and interview, where examiner is going to introduce himself and ask some general questions about your introduction, like what is your full name, where are you from, what do you do, simple general questions to get to know. And after the first part, there comes the second part where a cue card will be given to you. In that cue card, there will be a question and sub questions which advise you to talk on this topic for around 2 minutes. Sample of cue card is like this: describe an advertisement that you remember. The sub questions will be like what type of advertisement it is, what it advertised, where you saw it, and explain why you remember this advertisement. You have to, you will be given 1 minute time for preparing your speech on this topic, and after that, you have to talk continuously for 2 minutes without any pause. An examiner is not gonna interrupt you until you finish your 2 minutes talk. You can't stop in between. And at the end of 2 minutes, examiner is gonna definitely interrupt you. It doesn't mean you have done bad or you have done something wrong. It's how the exam works. After the completion of part 2, there is part 3 where discussion will take place between you and the examiner on topic related to the cue card, that is advertisement in this case. In this discussion, you are gonna present your ideas in an abstract way and deep, depth, meaningful way. So you have to have vocabulary that has some depth and abstract logical thinking about it. So you have to prepare for it well for this part of the test. At the end of the test, you will be done with your IELTS test. Congratulations. Let's see there are any types of IELTS test. Yes, there are two types of IELTS test mainly, that is IELTS academic and IELTS general. There is another one called IELTS UQ. It was for UK visa purposes. However, there is a good news that from October 1st, 2019, IELTS academic exam is sufficient even for visa purpose. Who can take IELTS academic and Who can take IELTS General? That is the normal question, right? Let's see it. IELTS Academic is for people who wish to study their graduation or post graduation in a country where English is the language of communication, and for those like doctors and nurses who wish to register themselves in a country where English is the language of communication. And IELTS General is for people who wish to migrate to countries where English is the language of communication. Let's see the difference between IELTS Academic and IELTS General. There is no much difference in the structure of the test except in one part, that is writing task 1. Everything else, reading, listening and speaking, is same for IELTS Academic and IELTS General. In writing task 1, for academic people, an infographic will be provided and you have to interpret that infographic in 150 minimum words, which will be or which can be done in 20 minutes. However, for IELTS General, instead of infographics, you have to write a letter, a formal or informal letter. What are these infographics? Infographics are any bar chart, line graphs, pie chart, maps, or processes. Letter writing, formal letter, or informal official letter. Only this is the difference. You have to prepare accordingly. There is an unique 9 band scoring system for IELTS. There is no pass or fail in IELTS, one has to keep in mind, and any institution and organization can set a required band score or desired band score only for which who scores that band score they are gonna allow to work or study in their institution. That's it. If the organization which you are interested in has set a band score of 7 overall and 7 in each, you have to score 7 band score in each this section and overall score of 7. That's it. That's how it works. Scoring in listening and reading is very easy because point system is there, but not in case of writing and speaking. Let's see how you get a band score for listening and reading. Out of 40 questions, if you make only one mistake and score 39 or 40, you get a band score of 9 in both reading and listening. And if you make 2 to 3 wrong or wrong answers or mistakes, you will be awarded with 8.5 band. And the list goes on like this. Scoring for speaking and writing is bit difficult, and how they evaluate is also quite difficult. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. Let's see how one has to score. I'm going to just give an example of mine. I wanted to register myself with General Medical Council of the UK, and what requirement does GMC needs is an overall band score of 7.5 and minimum of 7 in each section. An acceptable result for GMC is will look like something like this: listening 8, reading 8, writing 7, speaking 7, overall 7.5. I have got minimum 7 in each section and overall 7.5. What is not acceptable from GMC is, even though if you score 8.5, 8.5, 8.5 and overall of 8, if you score less than 7 in any one of these section, that is 6.5 in speaking in this illustration, it is not acceptable. You can call it as fail. That's it. And it depends on institution to institution, organization to organization, and you have to check which band score is required for you. Let's say you have enough decent English knowledge to score a required band score, then just a correct approach to the test is what is all needed. However, if you feel that your English knowledge is not enough to score the required score, then you have to prepare in a way to improve your listening skill, reading skill, writing skill, and speaking skills. Let's see how we can improve our listening and reading. For listening, you have to listen to native speakers' conversations because accent varies from country to country and understanding their accent is quite difficult but not difficult to score less. These are the sections where can score pretty well, so please listen to native speaker conversation and get acquainted with their accent. And learning pronunciation of alphabets and number is really important. Please learn pronunciation for alphabets and numbers because in listening part you may have to take down a number like telephone number or any house number, and pronunciation of numbers are quite different from what we pronounce. Same goes to alphabets because while you note down a street name or an address, they may spell out alphabets of that street name and you'll get confused with the pronunciation of that alphabet. How to improve reading? You can improve your reading by reading English newspapers, journals, novels in a daily basis, and also by increasing your vocabulary. You have to read as fast as possible. You have to learn how to skim through the passage. You have to learn how to go through the passage without spending much time. You have to practice really well for scoring good in reading section. Writing and speaking. These two are a bit tricky, but learning the basic structure of the task and following it makes it much easier than how it actually seems. There is a structure for the essay or the first part, task 1, like introduction, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and conclusion. You can follow the structure for each and every essay you are writing or infographics interpretation. You have to follow the structure and get acquainted with it. Learning to make compound and complex sentences is really important because just simple sentences are not going to yield any marks in writing section. And how to improve speaking? By using English for communication. Please use English in your routine communication. Though you feel it is not good, though you feel it is not proper or grammatically correct, you have to use it to improve your speaking. Learning to speak continuously for 2 minutes on any topic is the key because in the cue card you have to talk continuously for 2 minutes without any pauses. Keep in mind that it's not difficult but tricky test. Practice on time management is the key to get a desired band score. Reading and listening are scoring sections while speaking and writing are bit tricky and needs more practice than reading and listening. And to consider before taking IELTS test is which type of IELTS test you want to take and what is the required band score for your desired institution. You have to be very clear about these two questions before applying for IELTS test. Thank you so much. I hope you found my video helpful. Keep watching my videos and let me know how was it in the comment section. I hope you found my video helpful. If you have any other queries which was not covered in this video, please let me know so that I answer them in the comment section. And lastly, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel Doctor's Journey and get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you. Have a good day.